Hi everybody, so today's video is going to be a first impression slash review of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear foundation that I've got right here. I barely just recently got my hands on it. After seeing so many videos and so much hype about it, I really wanted to try it out myself and see if this is a foundation that I would like to wear. So in the video, you will see my first application of it, what were my impressions and initial thoughts, how I like the wear of it throughout the day. So if you want to learn and see what my thoughts were on this foundation, please keep on watching. Alright, so I'm going to start by priming my face, and I think I want to use a primer that I'm comfortable with and that I use on a normal daily basis, which is the Marc Jacobs, the Invisible Undercover Primer, Coconut Primer. Just because this is basically the primer that I will probably be using when wearing the foundation. So I want to make sure I use the same one. So now that I already primed my skin, so I picked up the shade 300. It says it's for medium to tan skin with neutral undertones. I normally tend to pick something that has yellow undertones or olive undertones because of my Latina complexion. Those are the shades or undertones that work better with my skin. But if it says it's neutral, that's something that also works for me. I just need to stay away from anything that's peachy or like pink, because those don't look good on me. I already know that. So I'm gonna start by just shaking it to make sure all the product gets mixed in well. And I'm just gonna do my normal technique, which I'm gonna I'm gonna try 2 pumps of this on the back of my hand, and I'll just apply it the same way as I normally apply my foundation, just with my finger. And I'll start dabbing it. Sorry if I look this way, it's because that's where I have my mirror. And I'm gonna start by just doing a very thin layer just to see what the coverage is. And I'm gonna use my beauty blender to blend this out. Okay. So far I can see how it's definitely a medium coverage. I can still see, this little mark that I have from a pimple that I got a few weeks ago. But it definitely evens out your skin color. However, I'm not 100% sure that this is the best shade for me, just because I don't think you can see it here in the camera as well, but in my mirror and in person, I feel like it needs to have more of a yellowish undertone, and that's probably why this one is just neutral. And I tried to pick that one, but it was already sold out, so I figure I'll just try, the next best shade that will work for my skin tone, and then I'll go from there. But this is the only shade that I have, so we'll work with it. Let's see. So one layer, let's see if you can look at it closer. I can still see my skin. It definitely evened out my complexion. It definitely made it prettier and look more even, but it doesn't do a great job in terms of covering certain areas of your face. Like, do you see these little 2 pimples that I have here? I can still see those. I can also see my veins, which, to be fair, it happens quite often with many foundations. And even with concealer, they will still show up a little bit, just because that's just the way my veins are. They really show up a lot. But I think I would definitely want to do a second layer just to make sure I get a better coverage, and to also test it out if it's buildable. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to just dab the foundation with my finger as I did for the first layer. I can see how it dries out a little bit faster than my other foundations. Maybe because I'm grabbing very thin amounts. Okay. So far, I can see how the second layer definitely makes it better. I mean, I already have some of the foundation that I apply on top, but if you see, it changed the color a little bit. Like, it made it look a little bit more yellowish, if that makes sense. I don't know. Let me finish blending the rest of the product around my face. And I'm gonna check back later. Actually, let's see what time it is right now. So right now it's 12:36. So I'll probably wear this till 9 p.m. or so, which is when I'm gonna do my final check-in. I'll definitely check probably halfway, or I'll see depending on how much time I have to check on my foundation. But so far, I'm not 100% pleased with the color selection. I don't think you can see it in the camera, but when I see myself in the mirror and in person, for some reason, I don't like how it doesn't quite match my neck. But maybe it would change once I do the rest of my makeup. Okay. So, actually, let me grab a small mirror. I think okay. I can definitely see the foundation on my skin. I can tell you right now that I don't like how it emphasizes some of the texture that I have in my skin right here, right under my eye. It could be because I have some large pores right now, but I don't know. I don't like that, especially because I feel that when I apply powder on top of it to set it, it's gonna make it look even worse. I like how it covered up all of the pimple marks that I had on this area. I can barely see them. So I definitely did a good job in that sense. Okay, so I'm gonna, let me just make, oops, what is this? I just want to make sure everything gets blended. And I can already tell you, it might be a little bit dry on my skin right now. And I know that this is a soft matte foundation. And especially for this time of the year that, you know, it's the climate and weather is just really dry. It might not be the ideal. So I mean, that's just one thing that I can't blame it really on the foundation, because it's already being advertised as, excuse me, as a soft matte foundation. So we'll see. I definitely have to set it, just because I never leave, you know, the entire face without setting it. But let me do my concealer, and I'll just use my normal concealers that I use on a daily basis, which is the Tarte Shape. And then I also use a little bit of the Becca concealer. Hopefully this shade looks good on this. Okay, I'm not gonna use a lot of it, just the normal, because I normally just do one layer of foundation, just because I don't like how it feels when you have like a cake face, I guess. Like, I don't like to feel like I have a lot of products, and even when you do, at least I want to make sure that they don't look like I have a lot of product. So I'm gonna apply a little bit on my lid. Let's see. I for sure like how it blended really well with the foundation. I can still see the highlighted portion of my concealer. Excuse me, now I put this in vibrator. But it definitely gives good coverage, that's for sure. At least with the 2 layers though, because with 1 layer, I felt that I could still see a lot of my skin imperfections underneath. I think I'm actually gonna skip using my Becca concealer because I normally use this one for spot concealer, especially to cover up those areas. I don't think it's necessary, to be honest with you, because you can really see that it cover up everything. So in coverage area, I think it's good. I just normally would do just 1 layer and then do spot concealing. So maybe that's another test that I can do with that foundation, just because I don't think I normally will wear 2 layers of it. But so far, I definitely like the coverage with the 2 layers. But I will have to test it, like I said, and see how I like it with just 1 layer and doing the spot concealing. So I'm just gonna set my under eye concealer in here, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of here. I'll use a bigger brush, the fluffy brush. I'll just use this Morphe M527 brush just to put a light layer of setting powder around my face. Let's see. I'm just gonna do a light, very light layer. Okay. It definitely makes my skin look really nice though. I for sure like that, but I still hate how I can see so much of my texture right here. And I don't think that happens with my other foundations. Like if you see here, I don't know if you're able to see it in the camera, but I can see a lot of my texture coming through. And I don't know if it has to do with me using 2 layers of it. Maybe I'll have to test it another time just with 1 layer, like I said. So now that I finish on my base and concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and I'll come back. So I'm back. I already completed my entire face. So I definitely try to use all of the products that I use on a normal basis. Hi again, so I'm back. So it's been about 4 hours after I applied my foundation. It's around 4:20 p.m. in the afternoon. So I don't recall the exact time, but I want to say it was around 12:30 when I first applied my foundation. So far, general thoughts. It looks pretty much the same, with the exception of a couple of areas. I got a little bit oily around my nose, but that's honestly something normal for me. It happens all the time. Nothing that I cannot fix with just some powder or blotting my nose. I don't like this area right here just because I normally get this little wrinkle in between my eyebrows, and I can see that for some reason the foundation emphasizes that little wrinkle. But yeah, I will have to check back at the end of the day before I remove my makeup to see, the final test. Hey, so I'm back with my review. So it's currently 9:49 p.m. Actually 9:50 p.m. So it's been over 9 hours since I first applied my foundation. So just general thoughts after my last check-in. I think overall the foundation held pretty well, especially for the amount of hours that I've had it on for. I think I still see the problematic areas that I've noticed the last time, which were right here around in between my eyebrows. I still see how my foundation looks a little bit cakey, and I do notice a little bit more oil than I did previously, but I think that's just normal because that's what happens with any foundations in my case, especially in my T-zone. I tend to get oily. And then the other area was that I felt that this foundation really emphasizes my texture and pores that I have in this area right next to my nose. I still see that. Other than that, I mean, between the oily parts right here and right here, I think it's about the same than the last time. The one thing that I guess I want to point out, I've noticed that there's a little bit of dry patches. And I don't know if you can see if I zoom you in right here. I don't like that, and it's probably just because I really had really dry skin recently, and since this foundation, it's a matte foundation, so that doesn't help. But I mean, it's probably not the best foundation to wear at this time, especially for the issues that I've had with my skin. Overall, I would say if you have dry skin, probably this is not the best foundation. Not at this time of the year. I don't want to say that I wouldn't purchase it again, because I definitely love the overall coverage that it gives you. I love the finish of it, but maybe not at this time of the year. And I definitely want to try it with just one layer, just because I feel that adding that second layer didn't help to make it look more natural and made it look more cakey, which I don't like. Maybe if I try it one more time with just one layer, my opinion might change. I will have to keep you guys updated, but overall I really like that. I just don't think I will wear it in this time of the year. But yeah, that wraps up this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.